666, the mark of the beast. Hi there, it's Timmy Joe. It's Halloween, which bears no anything against what the video is about today. Today we're going to build a computer in a case with a Gamdias. And it's the 6666, the mark of this the septuple beast. Septuple? That's not the right word. The Cinco beast? I don't know. Hi, I'm Timmy Joe. We're going to build a computer in this Gamdias case today. It's got RGB. This power supply is RGB. Cue it up, Timmy Joe! Woo! 66666666666. What's up? We're back. It's made. It's happening. I'm Timmy Joe, and yeah, this is the Talos M1 by Gamdias. They have sent me stuff in the past, a little mechanical keyboard and another power supply. The one they sent me the first time was a little bit less expensive than this one. This one's a full modular unit. What is with the name on it? Not a good name. Astrope Gold. P1 650 watt. It's a Gold Plus rated, and it's fully modular. It has a RGB ring, which ends up being pretty hard to see in the case. Plus, it has a very dark tint on it. But as far as the power supply goes, the other one I have felt a little cheaper than this one. Felt like not very weighty. This one, 650 watt, has all the connectors you need and everything, and it feels a little bit more put together. But we'll see why in a second. But it's one of the only power supplies, except for I know like Thermaltake does one that have like RGB, and you just press a button on the back of it, and it changes the effects, as you see here. But yeah, this is the PC, and there's a couple things I really like about this case. Number one, it's the same idea as a lot of other cases where there is a glass front and what would appear to be some obstruction to the fans. These fans are included with this case as well, and you can change them. There's a button right here. Yeah, there you go. You can change the colors just by pressing a button. So no Aura Sync support or anything like that, and they're not individually lit. Like there's just one color that goes on. Not a big deal. Just trying to get it back on RGB. There you go. And but there's lots of room for air to come in because this glass panel's cut in a way that there's a big gaping hole here. So at least there's going to be some airflow in this case. But it doesn't come with an included fan in the back. And I didn't put one because I'm using another product I'll be reviewing later this week, another Scythe air cooler. And basically this is an X58 system I built in here. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it at the end because there's an experiment I'm doing. So I'm opening this up, and what I love is this isn't just a couple of screws holding the glass panel on. There's a hinge here. This is awesome with magnets that hold it together there, and you can grab it, pull it off real easy, and there's the included system. And you could there's a little black part here, and you can grab it by the hinge and barely get your fingerprints all over it. And it's very, very dark panel. So we're in here, and it's got a basement with a bunch of holes in it, I assume, so you can see some of those RGB lights on their power supplies. Got a X58 Xeon system, X5650 at 4.4 gigahertz, and got a nice big fat air cooler from Scythe that we'll look at a little bit later on in the week. on this thing too, just to check how it performs. And then an RX 580, 8GB from MSI, real nice one there that I just picked up. And yeah, this is a nice little system. So I loaded this thing with all my hard drives because I'm going to be doing an experiment. I have sold my Ryzen motherboard and CPU in order to fund my 9900K dreams. So, like, that's how that's how things have gotten here. So I love Ryzen, and I'm already feeling like silly about doing this, especially considering I have no idea when the 9900K is going to be coming. However, I thought in the interim I would build this X58 system, 6 cores, 12 threads, fill it up in this Gamdias box with my two 4TB hard drives, and I got a scratch SSD, terabyte, for my YouTube videos, and then I'm running off of a Samsung SSD. And because I actually can't use my regular ones because they're M.2 and there's no M.2 on here, but I want to see, is this a viable platform for creators in production? We all know that the X58, the Xeons that you can get some, about near 1,000 points in Cinebench if you overclock them right. Are really good budget options for gaming, and the IPC on them isn't so great these days, but we're loaded up in here, and I actually edited my last video on this very system on my test bench, and now it's in a system that'll be put up over there. And then once we get to 9900K, there's going to be another couple of cases I want to review over the next little bit. I want to move my whole system over into one of those. But I thought for, as long as it takes me to get a 9900K, which I sure hope isn't less than 2 weeks, because supply still hasn't been replenished, I'll rock an X58 system in this Gamdias case, and, just see if it's a plausible thing. I mean, it is still it's definitely slower rendering, but we'll do the video later. And then we've got this, there's a couple issues with this cooler, but everything seems to be working in there all right. So building in this case is pretty nice. You're not going to be putting any rads at the top here. I noticed this case is just a little too small, even though you could put some fans up here possibly. There's definitely enough room to put some fans in the top. It looks like you could put 300, you'd probably still be two. Let me see. Oh god, I just dropped the tempered glass case behind me. 1, 2, yeah, you're only putting 2 fans up here, whether they're 240 millimeter fans or 220 millimeter fans, because it doesn't reach. I also kind of it's missing, I wish it had the 3 fans, and there's a bigger version of this case that has more RGB fans, but there's this little lighting effect here, lighting effect in the fans, lighting effect on the power supply. And but a really nice case, but is it worth the money? I'll let you decide in just a second. My one gripe with it was the back panel does not have, there's 2 hard drives, there's a cage here you can put 2 hard drives in. There's not enough room once you load it up like this with 4 hard drives, and you have, even with the modular power supply, and you have to connect the Molex one too so that you can power the fans in the front and the lighting. There's barely any room, even with cable management, as you see here, being semi-thoughtful. There's barely any room in the back to close the panel. I wouldn't want to put any more into this case, but whatever. And as far as the complaints on this thing, it's not bad at all. The cables aren't the prettiest, especially because the GPU one's red. I guess that's just to distinguish it. But it's just black cables, but at least they're not, a bunch of different colors or whatever. It's pretty nice power supply, actually. Definitely like it better than the non-modular version that I had. So, this is the Talos, and his website. I'll link it below. It's not bad. It fit a pretty mid-range system. There's also a vertical GPU mount, but with that big air cooler in this big RX 580, there's no way I could make it work. I think I don't even know, it doesn't come with an extra PCIe bracket, and they didn't mention anything about it, but there is a slot there so you could mount the GPU vertically. So, here's the Newegg. This case is $92.57 American. Getting up there in price. There are definitely some cheaper cases that, with the RGB and the tempered glass, I guess it's pretty in line with the prices, but you could get some more name brand mainstream cases at that same price with sort of the same features. FSP comes to mind. They have some really nice cases with 4 fans included for that price. But it's something different. I like their logo. Their logo lights up there. It looks like it's a, I don't know, some sort of casino or something. I don't know. And then the power supply is $172. And yeah, it's got an RGB ring in it. And I think that price is inflated just because these products they're more European market, I believe. And we're just starting to get them on like newegg.com. That's why the prices aren't necessarily the greatest. But, you know, it's nice to see different case manufacturers, especially like this is not a cheap case. The metal's a little thinner than, you know, some of the, you know, it's a price, $100. It fits the bill for sure. So I'll go ahead and put the tempered glass back on, and, you know, I'd say it's not a bad little case for sure. I really like the included hinge. Let's just see, is it easy? There we go. Boom. Closed. Way to go. And if you want to open it back up, boom. But there we go. Looks like it needs a little bit of monkeying to get it in the right spot. But yeah, not bad. So that's the Talos M1 and the what is it? Astrope P1 from Gamdias. I like it. It's not bad. Not bad stuff. So we will check back with that X58 build once the 9900K comes around. You know, playing with a system that's a lot older than my Ryzen. And yeah, it has 6 cores, 12 threads, but it's not fast. And we're going to learn that. But you know, it's got triple channel memory, and you know, there is USB 3.0 at least. You can't connect a header, but you can connect one at the back here, or there are two USB 3. So it's got some modern features and stuff like that on that nice Sabertooth motherboard. But we'll report back later on in the week with how good that cooler works. Make sure that my temperatures are all in check now that we're plumbed into this case. I'm at Watch Timmy Joe, Instagram and Twitter. Thanks very much for watching. Spooky Halloween 666 Mark of the Beast subscribers. That was kind of interesting that happened on Halloween. But yeah, I'm going to put this back over there, use it as a production machine for a little bit, and then report back later. Can you video edit /game on the X58 platform with a Xeon in it in today's day and age? Not just benchmarks, but real world usage. I'll tell you later. I'm Timmy Joe. Thanks very much to Gamdias for bringing this in. Thank you!